Who would have thought I was gonna still talk about zombies after the last trailer? What world? Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Kid, the review, back again with another video. So we got our first trailer for the sequel to 28 Years Later. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Let me start off by saying 28 Years Later is a movie I actually kind of appreciate in the fact that, yeah, I thought we were going to go somewhere where, like, okay, we're going to connect to the first trilogy, but I feel like now that we're going into a whole new direction for this one specifically, because I feel like 28 Years Later was a movie you could watch on its own, but then again, some people were a little bit confused with it. People were like, okay, so is this a sequel? Is this something new? I know it has the 28 font on it, but I was like, okay, I don't know how this is gonna connect, but the way that movie ended off, I'm like, okay, I see that we're setting up for something in this new trilogy where I feel like, okay, we're gonna be going through a whole new journey with Spike. Funny enough, the ending kind of did leave some things unresolved, where I'm like, oh, there are some things going on here where I feel like the ending scene specifically was like, "Oh, did I just jump into an episode of the Power Rangers?" It left me and a bit of the audience confused on that one. But now let's see what is going on next because I feel like there's nothing more you can do except at least continue the story where I guess, and from what I'm hearing, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know this myself, that the kid and oh yeah, I might as well just mention this one now. Spoilers for 20 years later if you haven't seen that yet. We're gonna be following this called the Jimmies, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't understand what that was until I had to do some research online and see what it was. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it because the intro of that movie started off with these kids watching the show. And at the time, I didn't realize, oh, wait, this is back in the early 2000s when this whole virus thing started going on. And I was like, oh, so modern day 2025 is not exactly what we're seeing in this. It's actually going to be taking place a couple years later. So, yeah, the timeline does add up for it. We saw Spike leave his dad and the doctor to go on his own path of manhood to actually go out in the world, and hopefully enough we get to see a couple things along the way, like a group of survivors, maybe some returning characters that we haven't seen, which I expected Jim to show up at some point in 28 years later, but I guess he didn't. They shot both this and the first one back to back, and I feel like, okay, most of this is going to have a little bit of continuity, and I feel like both of these are going to be clearly connected more because I hear there's a supposed third movie coming, but I'm not even sure if it is coming just soon. Other than that, let's get to the trailer because I feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions, and hopefully a couple of them will be answered here. So let's take a look.
Trying to predict the future is a discouraging and hazardous occupation. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, what is this? I cannot see. Oh, I am deaf. None can excel. Many of the things we take for granted will one day pass away completely. I open the door of heaven and
The Alpha.
hell. When that time comes,
Speaking of that too, that's
men
another
will
thing
no longer
scarier than the fucking people
communicate.
in this thing.
We may have diseases and barbarism. The whole world will cease to make any sense. I open the door of heaven and hell. Look at the incredible changes
His evil ass,
we've
bro.
experienced and survived. And yet even greater changes are still to come.
Oh.
Are you ready?
My soul shall scream in hell.
From the glimpses we see in this trailer, I see little bits and pieces of what happened last time, but also I feel like it's a little bit of expansion of the world because I know it's called years later, and the way these movies have it titled, like days, weeks, This is the one where I feel like, okay, we didn't have to know the backstory. We can tell everything from the title, where it's years. Like you could say, okay, it's back in 2002, but also years later, which would be 20, 20 it would actually be 2030 if I'm actually doing my math right. We see Spike along this cult, and funny enough, I might as well just call this out now. The main dude, the main Jimmy guy who's the cult leader, it's that I don't know. I can't think of his name, the actor's name. He's on a roll because, funny enough, he was in Sinners as Remick, and from the looks of him in this trailer, I just know he's evil. Something about him is like, yeah, he must have seemed trustworthy, and funny enough, they did kind of help Spike out in the attack. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's a gesture, but then again, I feel like once he goes into his cult and actually what that whole thing is all about, because I don't even know if it's going to be going to the whole thing where, oh, we're just seeing these guys, the villains, and they're basically every other zombie apocalypse movie genre cliche we've seen already. But I kind of want to see what he's going for because his old cult is specifically unique in a way to old people who understand the reference, but I'm not old enough to understand it myself. Saw a glimpse of Aaron Taylor Johnson in there in the woods running from zombies. Man, let me just say, if you've seen the movie, it fucking serves him right. Still no glimpse of Jim in this movie either because I feel like he has to be here somewhere. I know he's casted, but I don't even know if maybe it's because it's a teaser and maybe just me being me. And I'm like, I want to see him so bad because it's like there's a lot of focus on that character since we haven't seen him in God knows how long, and hopefully he's actually lived out somewhere. But at least this movie coming out a year later after the last one. And funny enough, we're still in 2025. The movie just came out like a couple months ago. That's the kind of thing I want to see in movies nowadays, where they just at least have enough to film a sequel, knowing that the first one's going to do good. Well, if you can call it the first one, you might as well just call this the third, and this is the fourth. I just want to end it off by saying I'm excited for it, and hopefully this could regain some interest because I feel like 28 years later is like, oh, this is the continuation, but not really a continuation. Seeing years later as the pinpoint or the start of a new trilogy of movies that we're actually getting, hopefully at least interests me enough to be like, you know what, this is worth it, and I actually kind of want to see more because besides the thing in the first movie where I feel like I gotta stop calling it the first movie. The thing in years later that was lacking was a little bit of the action or the zombie mayhem that we've been seeing because I already know we had a bunch of it in 28 weeks later, which yeah, the movie's action packed, but the characters are not that memorable as I would have expected. Except in here we had a couple chases. The biggest thing I just want to say, and also reference for this movie too, give these guys some clothes. Because a couple of this, almost all the zombies in this movie were naked. We saw the giant alpha with schlong walking around the thing. I saw this at Wayne on the recliner seats. I would just lay it all the way back. Like, I'd be like, oh, cool, I'm watching a movie like this. And once that schlong came on the screen, I was like, ah! That scared me more than the zombies. Because I was like, oh my god, and expect this to be in 3D. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.